What's the deal? What's going on? Let's get this shared up real quick. I know it's early. People out shopping, trying to get their digs, stuff like that. Last minute things for the Super Bowl. And we are off, right? Let's see if we can share this up real quick. Let's see if we're working on X, which I think we are. Mm, profile. Hmm. Okay, we are. But I don't have the ring. Okay. Let's pin that. Doesn't say you're live though, but it is. We are. Charlotte converted a two-way forward Diabate to a standard 3-year NBA contract. Yeah, man. Diabate deserves that, man. He does, man. I remember he was holding it down, straight up. He was holding it down. So let's get this shared up a few different types of ways here before we get it cracking. All right. Mm-hmm. It's Super Bowl day. Good morning, Pat. Good morning. Super Bowl day. I wanted to get something out yesterday. Just was a little busy, man. You had a good night on sleeper better and chalkboard, but prospects got hooked again. Ew, that's not good. Not a big fan of getting hooked, man. Straight up. But glad you had a good night. That's important, right? Pin this current vibe. You could change your little vibe thing. Okay, I changed it to talking money then. All right, that sounds good. Talking money, that's the vibe. My boy Jordan Brown say, "Go them dirty birds, go birds." Okay, all right, they got them birds in the house. Okay, I can see it. I can see it for sure. He said, "I got Doran points today and NBA assists locked in on Prize Picks. I like NBA assists. I've been playing it. I haven't looked at the line. Last night I locked in Jalen Duran. I locked in Jalen Duran. I locked in Jalen Duran what do you call that? Rebounds just last night. I think that's the only play that I did lock in. I just wanted to come on here and go over a few things, and maybe I might find something that I really really like. Oh, I wanted to lock in the 4.5 threes for Lamelo, but it was juiced up. I'm gonna have to take the 5 unless the numbers are down right now. So let's see, 10.5 rebounds for during at -113 last night, and no, I did not. That's the only thing I locked in last night. I don't know what his rebounds is right now. Let's see on this book or across books. Let's see. 10.5 at -124. I don't mind that. So I did already lock that in. That's one official play that I got, right? And I wanted to play points plus rebounds and or points PRAs, whichever one. I couldn't talk you off either one. I just it is what it is, right? Let me see. 80 was smashing for you, helped me cash. He got hurt. Collier crushed his assist. Yes, I played AD points and Collier's assist last night. Um, but like I said, those are some things that weren't that I just went on out and played. I'm quite sure everybody else was going to be on that, so it was like I didn't have to give that out. Yesterday, I don't know. Yesterday was one of them days that it was Saturday. I was off, and you know, family stream, whatever, right? So you know how that goes. Um, um, well, NBA, right? So we got 3 games, right? Getting ready to come on soon. Um, Hornets, Philly, Toronto. Mm. So, like I said, one thing I did point check count. One thing I did look like last night was let's take a look. The thing about this is, do I want to take 5? Right. This is Doink, by the way. I've been looking into it and things of that nature, dealing with the filters and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of here, all right, Game Day Insights, but um, I do, especially with the amount of time that you can spend on this site, because last year Game Day Insights I was spending at least 2 to 3 hours on a MLB stream. That's because it's a lot of things that you can look at. So with this here, it could be the same way, right? But I don't want it to be, I don't want streams to be that long. But it can definitely get hectic with this. Just diving into all these different filters and stuff like that. The way you can filter things out. So, for instance, uh, looking at the 3 ball or whatever the case may be with the Lamelo ball versus this um um Detroit defense, right? So, um, first and foremost, I can look at the head to head, right? So Detroit versus Detroit. Now, this is his last 10, as you can see right there. It's filtered to the last 10. I could also swing it out to the last season, this season, last 30, last 15, da 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 da. Now, the 3 point here, the line is 3.5 at -148. Probably a baseline across the industry. He's hit this number in 5 of his last 7 games versus this team. So he's already got a 71% hit rate on this number versus this team. He's played this team twice this year. We can see who's in and out, or who was in and out in that game by dropping this out right here, right? This is the box score, as you can see. You can see who's in and out. Something pretty quick that'll keep you from going from screen to screen while you're doing your stream. Now, I can take the versus Detroit DVP off, and then I can go, well, hey, uh, I still have it last 10 filtered to last 10 right now. Now, uh, in their last 10, they're 50% to this number. They're 50% to this number right now, right? So, um, at giving up 3.5 threes to this position. Now, I could say, okay, that's not enough for me, or whatever the case may be. Then I could take a look at, um, hmm, I could take a look at, let's say the last 10 games. Let me see, one, two, four. So the last 10 games, he's averaging what, 10 and a half 3-point attempts, right? He's averaging 10 and a half 3-point attempts, as you can see right here, and about almost 3.5 makes, right, in the last 10 games. So I could say, okay, I could filter the 3-point attempts here. Let's go to, let's say he's averaging 10 and a half. Let's say 10 makes. Let's go, I mean, 10 attempts. Let's go 10 attempts, right? So, bam. Now, to point guards in the last 10 games, Sharp versus Charlotte, with point guards are better that's giving up 10 at least 10 3-point attempts. Point guards are like what now each one of the last one of these are more than 10. They're like 11 or better, but you get the drift. LaMelo can definitely do that. But the point guards are 7 out of 10 to this 3.5 number right there, right? So even if I was to even if I was to say, since this number is 11, how about I can go on the season with this same filter here, this season, and then you can see that teams are. So let me see this season. Bang. So for some reason, it doesn't seem like that filter registered, or that might be it, right? That might be it. How about uh, how about 8 plus 3-point attempts here? Because I'm still playing with this. Let me see if I get more teams. Okay, so that's what it is, right? So 10 3-point attempts are better. It was really only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was only like 10 teams. Is that correct? I don't know. Mm. But as you can see right here, you got uh, 8 3-point attempts or better. Teams are to this 3.5 point guards to this 3.5 line. Out of 18 games, they're 11 and 18, right? Good for a 61% hit rate. So these are some of the ways that you can, filter this out, and you can add multiple filters and things like that. So let me go back to the 10 3-point attempts one time. I want to see if it scrolls for me. I just I just I just thought they had more, right? Let's see. 10 more than 10 attempts. Right. So it's only like 10 with 10 or more. That's interesting, right? So it is what it is. They 7 out of 10 in those regards. So and like I said, on the season here, for LaMelo, on the season he's averaging first of all, to this line, he's 65% to this line, 21 of his last 32 games, and he's averaging 12.2 3-point attempts on the season. I've only filtered it for 10 3-point attempts and 10 or better, and teams are point guards are 70% to this number, right? So those are ways. It's a lot of ways that you can filter things here. That's why I could use this as like a cross reference tool to my regular research, but this can take some time. And if you don't stand pat on your projections or your research, then you can actually talk yourself off some shit, right? Just so uh, I gotta like compactly do these things. Now, Tobias Harris, we already know, right? Historically, um, no, 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 no. Detroit actually, Detroit hasn't been good versus the power forwards, right? So looking at this game here, Detroit on the season. Okay, yeah. So Detroit actually, we know defensively they're not very good versus power forwards. Let me check Twitter real fast. Oh, so Detroit, Dennis Schroeder, Lindy Waters available to make Pistons debut. Diabate signed that contract. Good for him. Bogdanovich said he's ready to make the Clippers debut on Wednesday. Zion had a 40 bomb, right? He smashed. All right, so so we know, like I said, we know defensively, over the course of the season, Detroit giving up the most points to the power forward position. That's one thing, right? So you'll get somebody like you'll get somebody like Miles Bridges, who has a favorable matchup, right? At 22 and a half points. He has a favorable matchup. Over the course, probably a 48, they're probably giving up what, 20, 26, 27 points there. So you know it is what it is. If I wanted to cross-reference this some shape, form, or fashion with this tool here, I would probably be looking at Miles Bridges here. Take a look at versus Detroit first. Um, he's had 20 and 27 points. He's 50% to this line at 23 and a half points. Some other spots here, you could just take a glance at what they've been doing. This is over the course of the season. How about the last 10? Probably go standard last 10 for a second just to take a look at what you've been doing for me lately. But yeah, then if your numbers don't stack up the way you really want them to, you can start fooling around with the filters, right? He's averaging 16 and a half shots a game. Um, he's averaging seven, 7.5 rebounds, right? Um, so he's over this number at 51%. Those are spots that he's green at. The assist prop he's averaging 3.5 assists. His line is at 3.5, and the Detroit is giving this up 6 out of his last 10 to power forwards, right? So you could get some green over here just to see. Sometimes you see where the defense weakness is at least been lately compared to the player and stuff like that. But we're definitely going to be looking at points because he's averaging about 16 and a half shots, field goal attempts a game on about 7 makes a game. That's over the course of the season. How about the last 10 games? Um, so the last 10 games, he's been cooking with grease. He's hit his points prop in 7 of his last 10 games, including 2 of his last 3. Even last game versus Sacramento Spurs, San Antonio Spurs, he looked pretty good. Now, right now, to the power forward position, um, um, Detroit is giving up 21.4, right? So we're looking for this 22 and a half, where we can say, hey, um, over the last 10 games, he's averaged 19.2 shots. You can notice a lot of things here, right? So you can see over the last 10 games, he's averaged 19.2 shots, but over this course of this whole season here, he's averaging 16 and a half shots, right? So I could probably go up to about, let's say, 17 shots, right? Let's just go up to 17 shots. So let's go over here to the defense. Let's say last 10 games, uh, field goal attempts. Power forwards taking 17 shots, kind of like meet them in the middle, right? Just to get a good grasp on what's been going on in those regards. So the last 10 games, power forwards was taking at least 17 shots. You can look at the points; they're giving up 28.8 points, right? Uh, last last person that had 17 shots was back in January. That was Pascal Siakam with 29 points. Paulo had had 32. Um, who the fuck is this? Krejci, Jalen. Oh, Jalen had 17. Um, Kevin Durant bodied them. Pascal Siakam had 26. Who was this? Noah Clowney had 29. What? Back on January 8th, so on and so forth, right? Um, Even if you want to scale it back, so 17 field goal attempts, let's just say for some reason he goes out there and gets 15. So 15 or more field goal attempts at the average is at 27. It's at 27, and the latest person to hit that was Mobley at 30. Right. Um, at this line at 22 and a half, they 7 to 10 to this number. Right. So, 15 field goal attempts. I mean, I could be. I mean, I know he's going to get more than 13 field goal attempts, but that's when you come in real efficient, right? But they still 50% to this number on 13 field goal attempts, right? So that's when you're getting pretty efficient, right? But I can rewind it back and say, okay, that's the last 10 games. How about the whole season? And then I can go back to where I started at, as let's say 17 field goal attempts the full season right there, and just see where they at, right? The whole over the course of a whole season, power force that's taking 17 field goal attempts or more, they are 10. They 10 out of 14. So at a 71% clip at cashing this number in. Now we run it back cross referencing things, looking at DVP versus position here, and we can see that in those instances, uh, the numbers kind of line up, right? Because we do got 26 points here. Um, Other things you could take a look at other things like let's see, while we got those numbers up there, let's see, while we have those numbers up there, you can definitely look at other things, right? The 2.5 3 point line under these circumstances, these 17 field goal attempts. Uh, this is just 17 field goal attempts in general, right? Teams 7 to 14 to its 2.5 3 point line. Um, and that's just about it from the shooting category. You can filter 3 point attempts, things of that nature. You can filter a lot of different things, right? So it can really, 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 really get time consuming when you testing out all these features, right? But let's say you use your methods and you found three props or whatever the case may be, and you want to dive into them a little bit more. This is a way you can do that, right? This is a way you can do that, using a tool like this. So you know, it is what it is, right? I'll clear this out, but we do know that aggressive power forwards have been playing well versus this team. So his numbers are definitely in play, right? His numbers are definitely in play. Mouse Bridges is from Detroit too. They're in Detroit, right? Mouse Bridges is from Detroit too. I forgot all about that. Is he from Detroit? He's from Detroit, right? He's one of those Detroit rappers, right? Let's see. Miles Bridges' hometown, Flint, Michigan. Right, he's from Flint, Michigan. So he might want to, he might want to pop out, right? So somebody, hey, I couldn't talk you off his points. I tell you that right now. I couldn't talk you off his points, right? He's gonna stay there for the Super Bowl too. He like, I'm right at home. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you never know, man. You never know what's gonna happen here. All right. Um, as far as the bigs is concerned here, I mean Diabate, right? I don't know. Let's see where we got numbers for Diabate yet, right? Um, according to here, I don't see any lines out, so it's definitely, I'm definitely want to have some interest in Diabate in some shape, form, or fashion. If we can look at Diabate's numbers or something, if they face this team a little bit early in the season, um, yeah. So the last time he faced him when he had 32 minutes back in November, and this is in November is where he was really, 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 really playing a lot of minutes. In the absence of some folks, because they were getting Nick Richards getting hurt and things like that. I can see instances where, Diabate goes out there and clowns. He had 21 rebound chances, 16 rebounds on 21 rebound chances. Um, I don't have a problem with it, right? I'm all for it. I'm all for him. Guys like him and uh, you know, uh, Rashawn Holmes and stuff like that. We already know that can play ball, right? So he's just down there signing the extension, and shout out to him. So whatever his rebounds probably going to come out at, probably 8.5. I would imagine around 8.5. I can see instances where he could get there, right? Um, the rest, like I would probably be live betting, man. You know, I would probably be live betting the rest, bro. Straight up, man. I mean, you got other guys like I do I, you know, versus Detroit here, as you can see, Tim Hardaway. This is another way that can help you identify things pretty quickly, right? Over the course of the season, as you can see, bang, this stands out really green. So you can just be scrolling through here and just scrolling and just seeing green, right? So shooting guards, for some reason, shooting guards. Let's take a look here. So apparently that must be green to that line, right? So that 10 and a half line, I would say. Yeah, that 10 and a half line. So shooting guards are pretty much hitting this number, right? This is over the course of the season. They're pretty much hitting this number. How about last 10 games? So last 10 games, shooting guards, 8 or 10 to this number at 10 and a half versus Charlotte, right? So if you just scrolling, let's say you scrolling on some, okay, I'm doing some game log watching or whatever the case may be. This can be a tool, right? Because this is Tim Hardaway versus Detroit, Charlotte's defense, right? And I can just be scrolling more. I can be scrolling more, right? And when I'm seeing some green versus some of these lower numbers, right? It's just giving you an indication that this prop can be hit. Then you have to go in and you have to start, laying the groundwork to see if this is somebody you probably want to bet on, right? Uh, Tim Hardaway is an interesting person. He could probably hit this number, right? Head to head versus Charlotte. Let's see, head to head versus Charlotte. He's 2 or 3 to this number this year. This will be the fourth and final game uh, of the regular season between the two. So he's hit three threes or better in 2 of his last 3 games versus them. The shot attempts, right? And it looks like if he's taking 10 or more shot attempts, he's probably going to hit his line. So on November 6th, he took 10 shot attempts, 7 of them were threes. November 21st, he only took 6 shot attempts, and that resulted in him not hitting that number. Here versus Charlotte. And on January 3rd, he took shot at 10 shot attempts. He hit 3 of them with threes, right? He shoots a lot of threes. I mean, yeah, 3 of them that he made with threes. So as you can see, he takes over I would say over 80% of his shots are going to be from beyond the arc, probably higher than that, probably 90%, right? 10 shots, 7 of them were threes. 6 shots, 8 of them, 4 of them were threes. 10 shots, 8 of them were threes. That's what you're going to see with his line, either way it go, right? All throughout the season, right? So most of his shot attempts are going to be from beyond the arc. So, um, how about last 10 games? Lately, and for all I would have to know is me, I would want him taking at least 8 or more shots, right? In order for me to try to hit this 10 and a half number, right? It's an okay number for me because that's 11, right? So I know he's shooting the threes. I know he's shooting the threes, and if he give me three threes, that's 9. And then he give me one more bucket, then that could be 11 points, right? Three threes and a two. That could be 11 points, right? It's scarce in the field goal made department for him because he's only made in the last 10 games, as you can see, he's only made 5 field goals and he's went over 3 field goal makes only twice in his last 2 games, right? So, buckets kind of matter, right? Like, when you get a line like 12 and a half, it starts to get sketchy because you got to make 4 baskets, right? Or you got to make how many baskets you got to make, right? And it depends on the player. If you don't shoot threes, 12 and a half, you got to make at least 4 buckets, 4.5 buckets, like 5 buckets, right? 5 buckets and 3 free throws, that's 13 points. So that's another thing you got to look at, man. Over the course of the games, man, depending on what type of player you're dealing with, because, Tim Hardaway is not that aggressive guy that get into the line all the time. So man, a line like 10 and a half, 12 and a half is kind of weird, right? You know, those are a lot of buckets for a lower usage player, shit like that. I do want to take a look at I do want to take a look at Malik Beasley. That's what I really wanted to take a look at. And to take a look at Malik Beasley, I would probably have to go to the bench, right? So player props bench right here, as you can see, and see if I can find some lines on him. And I would imagine if they had lines on him, they would push him to that forefront page up there. But I guess not, right? I don't know if he has lines or not. But doing some research here, you can still do research on him, right? So looking at Malik Beasley here, you can take a look at versus Charlotte first and foremost. His line is at 14 and a half. Okay, so he do has lines somewhere, right? Uh, 14 and a half. He's hit this number out of his last 10 games. Um, 4 of 8. He's 50% to this number. This is versus Charlotte, right? But take that filter down. Lately, he's hit this number in 8 of his last 10 games, right? Um, hmm. So the 3 point makes, right? The 3 point attempts, he's taking the least. He's averaging around, let's see, he's averaging around 10 attempts. Hmm. So in order to compare these numbers and stuff like that, is you have to probably go back, right? Let me see. Bear with me because this is my first time really trying to go full fledged with this tool. Give me a couple days, I'll know this shit right off the bat, right? But I just want to try to use this tool. So it looks like I would have to go back to shooting guards back here and filter it by 10 3 point makes, right? From the shooting guard position versus this is shooting guard position. How about 10 filter three at least 10 3 point attempts here. See how they fare in the last 10 games. So shooting guards with at least t- at least 10 3 point attempts, they're over four, right? They're 4.3 makes, and then they 8 to 10 to this line, right? And how about the over the course of the full season? This season here, we'll take a look at that, and shooting guards over the course of the season. Mm, 10 3 point makes. Okay, so some of those games were probably last year. Look at that future just started playing in my ear. Let me take this out. Hell no. All right, so this is interesting. It's halfway through the season, and it's 3 or 4 to this number. And this season, hmm, but I can go last 5 games. Let's see, last 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something I'm not. Okay, that's 24. All right, so only this season they only have 4. All right, I guess when those guys are 3 or 4, right? Those guys are 3 or 4. Then I say let's take a look at that versus Charlotte. No, 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 no. Okay, let me see something here. 3 pointers made. Detroit. All right. Um, Incorporating this tool right here, there's ways you can find a lot of green, right? And Beasley, we were just looking at Beasley. Beasley has been on one, right? So, you know, uh, from a 3 point standpoint, Lamelo Ball and Beasley, these guys they have higher 3 point value, so they definitely tend to hit more. Um, Man, that Beasley is kind of green, bro. That Beasley is kind of green, and I definitely wanted to take a stab at that after seeing that green like that. But just know, right? His 3 points right here is out over here at 3.5. Just know, he's it. We just know, just know. Let me look at the shot profile real fast. Charlotte, pull up 3 points, right? Attempts. These are attempts. They're giving up 12.2 3 point attempts, pull up 3 point attempts. Corner three, I guess it looks like they've been okay versus that number. Shot, catch and shoot 3 point attempts is And then I would imagine, he's more of the catch and shoot guy. Let's see. Beasley got the pull up too, though. Beasley got that pull up. I done seen him, right? We just seen him versus whatever team that was with no, that was last game. So pull up points, he's probably getting 4.2. That's one of those are threes, right? Catch and shoot points, that's about 8.7. That's about almost three threes, right? So uh, when you're looking at what he did without Cade Cunningham, he played 38 minutes that game versus Philly. Pull up points 16. So I would say what? At least four of those were threes. I would say at least four of those were threes, and then catch and shoot 3 points, right? Yeah, 15. So the catch and shoot points were catch and shoot points were five threes, and I would say the pull up points, since it was 16 points, I would say four threes. He had a total of nine threes, right? Right, nine threes, a total of nine threes, which would probably put him at five threes from catch and shoot. That's five, and then four from pull ups, right? So that's about that's nine threes right there. So he's got the pull up, but he's more catch and shoot, as you can see. With Cade in, he's more catch and shoot. He's probably 75 25 pull up, or 80 20, or what I'm saying, 90% catch and shoot points, right? And that's probably the catch and shoot three. He's about 90% there, right? I would say. He's probably averaging, let's see, pull up points. Yeah, so the pull up points here, he's averaging 1 3 there and probably three threes there. About two, almost three, 8.7 catch and shoot points. He's probably averaging about three catch and shoot threes, and then one pull up three, right? So looking at the shot profile, the pull up three and the catch and shoot, nope, that's Washington. So hmm, these are attempts, right? These are just attempts. I still think he can go out there and get them, right? I still think he can go out there and get them. Um, if this was like catch and shoot 3 point attempts, mega green, oh my god! But I still think it's instances where he can go out there and get them. So his threes are definitely in play, right? Even if you're looking at over the course of the season, where's Detroit? Where's Charlotte? Another thing I don't like is Charlotte not playing as fast as I, really want them to play. Now, Diabate, I'm looking for Diabate numbers um, in the rebound category. I really want to bet on him, right? And that's about it for me, man. That's about it. That's about it. Um, Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks here. Um, Philadelphia is another team that I target versus power forwards, right? So taking a look at here, you can look at the points here. Detroit and Philly, these two teams are on the docket. Philly, as you can see, green, 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 right? And then it's ABC. So that's a whole nother ball game, right? So early morning, right before the Super Bowl, I can see Giannis and Embiid if he goes. Giannis and Embiid probably trying to go at it. Philly needs a bounce back game, and it is what it is. But Steven Adams out today, Tari Eason out, which I already knew that. And then okay, so I already knew Tari Eason was going to be out on a back to back. He hasn't played any back to backs now, and we'll get to that game next. So from you know Maxi. So looking at matchups here, what we know is Detroit, we know Philly is giving up the second most points. Green in the rebounds, Green in assists, Green in potential assists, and we're not worried about no threes from ABC. Oh, you know what? ABC not playing. Okay, I'm tripping, right? ABC not playing, so we can run that. That gives us a good spot for Bobby Port, Bobby Portis, right? So we can reiterate that to Bobby Portis. Now, the point guard position is another position that I like, in this game here. Looking at Milwaukee and looking at Philly, right? Milwaukee giving up the most points to the point guard position, and then Philly is right, not far behind, right? They right there neck and neck and giving up points. Dane's gonna have the green light. We already know Maxi's got the green light. These two can definitely it can be we can see some fireworks here, right? So 29 and 27 points here. We can look at the 3 point. We can look at everything. Everything is on the table in this spot here. Green threes for Philly, green threes for Milwaukee, right? Early in the morning, go hard, go home type of shit. Get that workout in before the Super Bowl here. I can definitely see uh, uh, Dame Lillard and Tyrese Maxey getting busy, right? Dame Lillard's got to get busy. So if I'm looking at anybody first, I'm looking at Dame Lillard, and then I'm looking at Bobby Portis next. So I definitely got to look at those guys for sure. Dame Lillard is in that classic maxi spot that he's been dealing with without Embiid. So gotta take a look at Dame Lillard here. Points plus assists, PRAs, fancy score, whatever you want to do, right? Bobby Portis has the next or equal to the same, best matchup here. Um, we're gonna have to get an aggressive Bobby Portis though, right? So his line is sitting at 18 and a half. Don't know if I can get there, but definitely know he can hit that number. Taking a look at some numbers here, with and without. Let's take a look at some of these numbers here. Let's go with um, player props here, and let's see what we can come up with, how things fared, right? So we want to back Dame Lillard some shape, form, or fashion, some type of way. So let's go to Dame Lillard here. Dame Lillard without. Let's go without ABC. Okay. So last 10 games, Dame Lillard without ABC. His points prop has been. He's averaged 29 and a half points. Right now, he's hit this number 8 of his last 10 games without ABC. But, well, can't filter it to that. I'm tripping, right? But we can look at not last 10. How about this season, right? Because he hasn't been with them that long. Let's just filter it to this season. Now, versus Atlanta, what happened this game? They took a L, and then we got quick access to the box score. They took an L right there. So let's see what happened. Sonny, Markel up. You don't know. Uh, me, Nuthi, and your mama. We done had sausage and egg sandwiches this morning. If you want to make some, it is what it is. Actually, your mom's is in the it's in the microwave. What's the microwave? Your mother's. You can probably eat that and tell her you'll make her a fresh one because she's still asleep. Or you can make y'all some, or you can wait till him get up and y'all can make y'all some, whatever the case may be. All right, so um, this year though, yeah. So this year versus point guards here. I mean, without ABC, he's been looking pretty good, right? And then the 3 point line for him, he's 3 or 5 to that number. Okay. Um, hmm. Um, filter this back to the last 10, and we'll go versus Philly. Oh, he hasn't faced Philly this season. That's even better, right? So we get a fresh Dame versus this Philly team, and it is what it is, right? Point guards versus Philly. I got it on the last 5. Go back to the last 10. Um, how about we take this filter down for a minute, And let's give it a baseline 17 shot attempts, right? Let's say filter field goal attempts here, 17 shot attempts. Last 10 point guards versus Philly, 17 shot attempts. So they averaged 33 points. They averaged 33 points, right? No, I mean 30 points. They've hit this line at 27 and a half, six of the last 10 games. The three pointers, right? People with point guards with seven and a half, I mean, with 17 shot attempts in general have point guards with 17 has went over the 3.5 3 point line, eight of their last 10 games versus this team. So it is what it is, right? Even if you're trying to decipher assists, right? You can look at passes, you can look at potential assists, and you can look at assists, right? So, um, last 10 games without Giannis, he's averaging 7.7 assists. The line is at 8.5. Potential assists around 13.4 at average with 57 passes. You could definitely look at potential assists here, right? So you can slap the potential assists and take a look at potential assists, and you could actually drop the average in there. Let's drop in the 13 average, right? And then we could take a look there. Now, their point guards are 50% to this number in the last 10 games with 13 or more potential assists. Uh, it seems as though 17 potential assists, they hitting the line, right? 17 potential assists or better, they hitting this 8.5 line. So uh, uh, um, Halliburton had 17 potential assists. He hit 11. Uh, Brunson had 19 potential assists. He had 12 assists. Well, he had 18 there, but those were last year, right? These last three games here, these are the guys that, well, oh, Dame Lillard, right? So Dame Lillard had 30 points, 9 rebounds. He almost had a triple double. This was October 23rd, but he needed four more assists. So he had 18 potential. And then you can filter passes too. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Long story short, Dame Lillard points and or threes is what I'll be looking at here. Couldn't talk you off his PRAs, right? Fancy score, all that good stuff, right? Definitely can take a look at columns, right? And each and every last column, I got a lot of columns filtered off. You can still put in usage. You can put in free throws. You can put in offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, steals, blocks, turnovers, 2 pointers, points in the paint, fouls, points plus assists, points plus rebounds, rebounds plus assists, points plus rebounds, and PRAs, steals plus blocks, efficiency plus minus, double doubles, and triple doubles. All those I got them filtered off, right? I got them filtered off. I'm just working with but I can filter them back in there and have all those tabs in there, right? So, those are ways that you can look at that, right? So, just off the naked eye, I'm just trying to show people that this tool. So, what do we have here? Since these are suspended, let's go take a look and see what we have first before so I need to react to this news here. Ball questionable. He ain't playing. He probably not gonna play. So at the end of the day, I would rush. We already went over there. What's up? What's up, Solo? We already went over there over Bridges, right? Bridges is already in a good spot, if you ask me. So I would rush over there. Then I would have to take a look at. I would have to take a look at. I would have to take a look at Smith Jr. here, right? But that muddies the waters a little bit. So, you know, if he's questionable this early, I think he doesn't go. Truthfully, early questionable tags more than likely lean to not going. Right. Let me go over the pass picks because I know that's probably where it's going to be the sweetest at. Nick Smith Jr. I'm probably going to like that. PRAs, assuming he's out here. Let's see, Bridges here. Um, 3.5 threes as a demon. PRAs is they got PRAs as demons now. I don't know about the bowl, bro. Probably I don't know about the bowl, but let's see. Let's see real quick. They took his regular points down. Points combo. What? Rebounds combo? Hmm. I wonder what his points opened up at. What? 22 and a half? Hmm. So we got Nick Smith Jr. here. Miles Bridges still on DraftKings. Y'all want to see this play here? This is AJ Brown, Goddard, Xavier Worthy, Saquon Barkley touchdowns, right? All touchdowns at plus 6,000. I just put that in there, right? That was 4 touchdowns, and well, actually, my homie put that in. I put that in for my homie. He's locked up. So, uh, and he did another Hail Mary type of play too. But let's see something here. Oh, it make me log back in. Ooh, that's nasty work. They probably fixing those lines right now. We getting to it, Lucci. Shout out to Lucci, man. I never seen him comment in here. I appreciate it, man. If you're here, drop a like for me, fam. And if you ain't subscribed, please subscribe. If you want to support me, best way to support me is you could if you like what I do, man, the Dub Club. $5 a month, it ain't nothing, right? 17 cents a day. If you like what I do here, it's not like I'm selling any pics or anything like that. But what I do post, I put it in the Dub Club first, right? It is what it is, right? Um, let's see, NBA. They still got his points up, but they nerfed it, right? It's at 25. They know he not playing. Hey, bro, I came from Facebook. My boy told me you say your picks are fire. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, bro. Straight up. I know where you came from. I know where you. Oh, I don't know. I actually. Shout out to your boy. Shout out to you too, man. Straight up, man. I come on here try to help every day, man. That's all. And then try to show you guys, try to give you guys a little bit of perspective of what I see in. And it is what it is. Straight press first, then we parlaying. I mean, that's what it is. Right? 90-20, 85-15, man. I put a little couple dollars on my parlays, but the straights is, where it's at, bro. Straight up. So um that's very interesting. So they pulled everybody except for Bridges, right? They left LaMelo up there, and then they want us to go in on Bridges, right? Now, now we got Bridges questionable, so I mean we got LaMelo questionable, so it's weird, right? It's weird because now do I go in on Bridges? But long story short, we just went over that number, right? So for the people who wasn't here, let's do a quick recap, right? Let's go back to Charlotte, right? Because I'm getting ready to get out of here, but I'm finna let's talk. Y'all finna hook me in, man. Talk about a little bit about the Super Bowl, man. God damn it! All right, so I'm liking Bobby and Damian today. No Giannis last game. Dame had like 8 assists. Bobby had a nice 20 for plus money. Show. And we just went over that, bro. Just went over that. We just went over that. So I'm gonna go back over it, right? So first things first here. Let's see here. KJ Simpson. So KJ Simpson, I don't know if he might see the bulk of the minutes at point guard. No Misic. So that's what we got there, right? If no ball, we're looking at KJ Simpson and Wong, but I think KJ Simpson gets the bulk of the minutes, okay? That's one thing, right? The shooting guard, we're definitely looking at Nick Smith Jr., all right? Um, he's questionable, but we're looking at Nick Smith Jr. The field goal attempts are going to be there, right? And then uh, if he can get hot from beyond the arc, as you can see, 2 for 5, 4 for 8, 4 for 7, 5 for 8. You know that's how this offense runs. We know this is what this offense does. Somebody's got to shoot the three ball, right? Somebody, because this is they don't manufacture offense that good, and when you got so he'll be second, probably second in usage. Nick Smith Jr. Then first and commander in chief. God damn it! In the absence of Lamelo Ball, we're looking at Bridges, right? So to reiterate that, let's start back where we were. For the people who just came in, power forwards, we've been targeting that versus Detroit all season long. That's one. Number two, the kid is from Flint, right? So Detroit giving up the most points on the season to to power forwards. And then if you look across the board there, everything is green. 3 pointers made, green. Potential assists, green, da 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 da, right? So that's one thing. We can even take a look at the defensive shot profile, and I don't think it might not look that sexy. So, that's one thing. But the usage is going to be interesting, right? So sliding over here, go over here. How about we just, because I didn't do this filter, so let's take a look at Miles Bridges without, without, let's just go without LaMelo Ball right now. Without LaMelo Ball, apply that. Now, he already got a good matchup. Um, that's 10. Oh, no, take versus Detroit off and bang, right? So it's kind of messed up right now because let's go to this season because some of his lines got pulled. That's why I know what it is, right? Some of his lines got pulled, but we can look at the averages, right? The average right now is 33 and a half. No, minutes. He's averaging 21 points without him, right? Um, now, but lately, Brooklyn on 29th of January, 23 points. The Clippers, 27 points, which I didn't think he was going to do that versus the Clippers. 24 points versus Denver, 25. So, his line opened up at 22 and a half. And it's like it's been nerfed since the news came out. It's been nerfed. Uh, DraftKings nerfed it pretty quickly, as you can see right here. DraftKings nerfed it pretty quickly. It came out at 22 and a half. Now it's at 25 for plus money. You get 24 for minus 110. I think that's the reasonable one right there. The 24 at a plus 110, but it was 22 and a half. So it's like probably like a point and a half to, what I'm saying, bump he got. He was in the midst of that news we just got. So that's that, right? Um, I don't right now. I probably can't get Nick Smith's. Let's see. Unless I might be able to go to the bench, right, and see what I can see. Oh, there he is right there. Yeah. Nick Smith without LaMelo Ball. What happened? What happened? What happened? No, come off the bench. Come off the bench. Come back from the bench. Go back to regular prayer props. Another thing I notice about the site is it gets kind of slow, right? Okay, without LaMelo Ball. Let's go. Apply that. How about last 10 games? Really, last 5 games, because without LaMelo Ball, last 5 games. Is that correct? Should I go last 10 or last 5? I would say last 5, right? Well, when he got started getting this minutes, it was about right here, January 24th, right? When he started getting the minutes. So since there, he's played, I would say since January 24th, he's averaged around 30 minutes. Okay, so let's just look at from January 24th here. So he scored 17, 2, 8, 19, 24, 23. Right here, since January 31st, he's probably, I would say he's been a little bit more acclimated. Now, last 3 games for Beyond the Arc, he's got his groove, right? Five threes, 5 for 8, 4 for 7, 4 for 8. He's in his groove there, right? He's in his bag there. Um, Good matchup here versus Milwaukee, I would say, and on the fifth, and he prevailed, right? And so this will be versus Detroit, right? Yeah. So, and then, like I said, um, Detroit. We looked at Detroit. We filtered 3-point attempts, right? With people with what? Um, I would say, hmm, give them. I would give them. I would give them 8, 3, 7 3-point attempts today if there was no Lamelo Ball. Um, so I'll count the ones that's less than 3, right? Last 10 games, less than 3 makes was 1 game. So if his 3 pointers open up at 2.5, players are 9 out of their last 10 over 2.5 threes. So that's one thing, right? In the point guard position, I mean shooting guard position. But like I said, it is what it is, right? Right now, why you don't see the colors and stuff, because the lines probably got snatched from a lot of different boards, and I probably can go in and filter it just to one book. I could probably filter it to just a one book, and maybe it'll give me lines, but that's just a quick overview of what's going on here, right? Um, so that right there, it was already, LaMelo Ball three for me, but they opened up at 3.5 last night at like a minus 150. I didn't want to lay that juice. So you're just gonna have to bet him at 5 threes. Now you're gonna get some lenience. You probably get a minus 110 for 2.5 threes for Smith Jr. But it is what it is. Diabate, I got interest in him there. I already bet the 10 and a half rebounds for Duran there. Was waiting on Diabate lines wherever they at. Um, Fast forwarded to the Milwaukee Bucks game, right? The Milwaukee Bucks game, from a matchup standpoint, loving the matchup and the point guard between both point guards, right? We got Milwaukee and Philly. Number one and number two, no, number 1 and 3 are giving up points to the point guard position. That's one thing. And then the power forward position, right? So Detroit and Philly, they 1 and 2 at giving up points to the power forward position. That would have been Giannis, but it's Bobby Portis. So I like the matchup for Bobby Portis, and I like the matchup for Miles Bridges, right? You can see point guards, they green, right? They green. So, and then vice versa. Charlotte, somebody like Miles Bridges, he doesn't want to play that much defense, right? So an aggressive Miles, I mean, Tobias Harris could also be in play. But yeah, but from a usage standpoint, Miles Turner is going to have a nice amount of usage there. So to cut to the chase there, bang. That's what Those are the spots that I'm looking at there. And then I can talk. I like both centers, right? Diabate, whatever the case may be. I imagine Diabate rebounds might come out at no less than 7.5. I'll say 8.5. I say 8.5. They open up at 8.5. That's what I say. Um, and then Maxi, right, from the point guard position. Maxi, I mean, I don't know if I'll bet on him, but from a usage standpoint, between Maxi and Dame, I would have to give the edge to Dame because he would be leading the way in this team, right? In this team versus this team, I'd say Maxi. I mean, Lillard would have the highest usage rate. That's what I would say. So his points and threes, PRAs, all that shit is in play. Um, now, Fast forwarding it here to Toronto, right? Already off the back, I'm looking at damn, I'm looking at I'll tell you I'm thinking about mm, mm, mm. I am thinking about maybe somebody like Whitmore, right? First and foremost. So let's take a look here. I'm looking at a few things, but I'm with Tyree Easton out here, um, and then you got so I'm looking at so I gotta look at Sengun first, right? That's number one, right? Then I'm looking at let me see who would get to start. Jason Tate might get to start there. Whitmore is gonna play some minutes, right? I don't know if we're gonna get any lines on Whitmore, but Whitmore's gonna play his fair share of minutes, right? I at least see Whitmore playing 28 minutes at least. He comes in, and when he